Well, the atmosphere is certainly wonderful. Very, very noisy. Just a shame that rather a lot of England fans decided to boo the Russian national anthem. Doesn't help the prospects for down by the harbour tonight in Marseille. We've had far too much trouble over the last couple of days, and even though it's clearly a minority of England fans who've been involved, they should look in the mirror. You know, there's only been one place for trouble in this European Championship so far, and it's here in Marseille. So we've got to take some responsibility for that. Let's give you the two lineups. First of all, Russia. The goalkeeper is Akinfeev. The defence is Smolnikov, Berezutski, that's Vasily Berezutski, his brothers on the bench, Ignashevich and Shennikov. Then we've got Neustadter and Golovin, the two holding midfield players. Ahead of those two, we've got Shmolov, Shatov and Korkilin. And finally the giant 6'5" striker Zuba. One of those players are from CSKA Moscow. Now, England's team, the goalkeeper is Hart, defence Walker, Cahill, Smalling and Rose. Then we've got Dyer, Ali and Rooney, and finally Lallana and Sterling either side of Harry Kane. So it'll be the England captain in his white shirt with those faded blue shoulders, white shorts and red socks, who will kick off. Ali's alongside him. Will they be so conjoined when the game gets underway, or will one of them take a role further forward? The referee's one of the best, the Italian Nicola Rizzoli. And England's campaign for 2016 gets underway. And can we have a change, lads? Let's win the opening game in a European Championship campaign. England immediately get a free kick for a foul on Walker in this near side of the field. England attacking the end to our right, and behind that goal are the Russian fans. The free kick was taken and it was played to Dyer. Dyer plays it back to Smalling, and Smalling finds Joe Hart, who's put under pressure, a little bit of pressure by an oncoming Russian, but Hart clears it over the halfway line, headed back. The jump was by Dyer, and then Smalling clears it upfield. Sterling's after it. The goalkeeper Akinfeev is very experienced. He's out of his penalty area to head the ball clear. Russia in a distinctly dark red shirt, red shorts and white socks. Here we are in Marseille, and the ball breaks to Sterling. Sterling now ahead of the centre circle. He's got Harry Kane to his right. That's a poor pass from Sterling, well ahead of the Tottenham striker, straight through to the Russian goalkeeper.
Both teams set up as you've both said, and good start. I'm quite surprised with Russia. They've actually started pressing the ball very high. I thought they'd sit back and try and catch England on the counter-attack, but so far they've played three up front. I thought it would have played more of a 4-5-1, a bit deeper. The back four quite organised, like to get up as soon as the ball goes forward. They're squeezing Harry Kane, trying to condense the space.
And just looking at where Rooney and Dyer are, they're sort of in tandem in midfield ahead of Dyer. The ball is with Wayne Rooney, who's predominantly on the left-hand side at the moment. He hooks the pass towards the right. I think that's too far ahead of Walker. No, Walker does well. Kick didn't play, and he thinks he should have been a throw-in. And even though we're a long way off, I thought he should have been a throw-in, but instead it goes to Russia.
Wayne Rooney likes that diagonal ball, doesn't he, from inside right or inside left. He loves to get in. If Kyle Walker and Danny Rose are willing to make them runs, he will hit that pass to you.
Sort of Steven Gerrard type passes hit across field, considerable length. That's a free kick to England. I didn't see what the offence was.
No, it was a little bit late, but it's a set piece to England. And let's get this in the box. Get the centre-halves forward. Oh, they played a quick one.
Now, if you're just switching on to Five Live, you should have been listening earlier. Wales beat Slovakia 2-1, and before that, Switzerland beat Albania 1-0. They're the two European Championship fixtures played so far this Saturday afternoon in France. On the far side of the field, England on the attack. The ball played in towards Lallana. His header down, the shot in by Dyer, and it's wide of goal. I think it had too hard trajectory as well. Goal kick to Russia.
That's a promising start. England on the front foot, getting the ball, asking questions. This back four don't like to be turned. Ball in the box comes out to Ali, who doesn't get the contact he wants. A little bit off the shin and goes well wide.
Akinfeev, the CSKA Moscow goalkeeper, takes the goal kick towards the giant Zuba. Zuba's careful header down, and Corcoran now collects it just to the right of the penalty, in towards Zuba again, cleared on the volley by Walker. Russia collect once more. It's with Golovin, and to the far side of the field, Russia with lots of players in attacking positions. The ball played to Zuba, edge of the penalty area. He was leaning back on Cahill, and it was cleared anyway by England up towards Harry Kane on the halfway line. The ball ran beyond the defender. I think it glanced off the Russian defender, and yes, it's out for an England throw-in, which Kane takes on the far side. England left, gets the ball back from Danny Rose, and then Kane changes the direction of England's attack, playing it to Cahill to the right of the centre circle, in to Dyer's critical role for Dyer, and there's another Tottenham player. Rose squanders possession, hoping to find Sterling, didn't do so, and here's Berezovsky back to Akinfeev, and Akinfeev just lifts the clearance towards the near side of the field, but he's overheaded the goalkeeper, and it's straight out of play for an England throw-in.
Well, I think England started the brighter, but Russia, when they do go forward and they get the ball up to the big man up front, they do support him very quickly. You've got to watch for runners in midfield.
Good touch by Kane, on by Dyer. Lallana brings it down the penalty area. Lallana on his left foot, crosses low. That should be cleared though by Russia. It wasn't the best of crosses from Lallana, but it's good to see him with movement around and about Harry Kane. Lallana's a clever player.
Yeah, I've always said he's got two great feet. He's very fit lad. He takes up good positions. Look at I think with his ability, he needs to be scoring a little bit more and creating a little bit more.
England were the only team to win all 10 of their qualifiers for this European Championship, but this is where it matters, folks. You know, this is the hard edge of the European Championship. The finals. Kane beaten in the air by Ignashevich, and then it's hooked further forward by Russia, but it's one bounce and straight through to Joe Hart. Hart, oh goodness gracious, he hit the ball straight into the back of the legs of Smalling. It come off Smalling's legs with rather more impact. That could have been an embarrassing own goal.
Could have been, yeah.
Not clever. Anyway, here's Rooney. Rooney to the near side, and it's taken over the halfway line now by Cahill. Cahill to Lallana. Lallana, well, he had two Russian players challenging him. They won out, and now it's forward to Zuba. Zuba hits it toward the far side of the field. Now Russia in a good attacking position here. Smolnikov up from right back. Smolnikov into the penalty area. Crosses high. Zuba takes it down. Can't get his right foot there. Smash the ball towards goal, and it's cleared by England.
Yeah, Smolnikov, the right back, he loves to get forward. An unbelievable pace. That's twice he's made an overlap, and Sterling's got to go with him. He's got no option.
6 minutes gone. You're listening to 5 Live. England 0, Russia 0 in the Stade Velodrome here in Marseille. Here's Sterling. And Sterling, a little sluggish, at least retains possession. And that's a good ball by Rooney towards the right side. Walker takes it forward into the defender. Here's a chance for Lallana, and Akinfeev just touches it over the crossbar. He didn't know much about it, the goalkeeper, but he did enough.
No, good playing, and great. Kyle Walker did ever so well. Used that pace, great first touch, just runs round the defender. And Lallana, good touch, good hit, straight at the goalkeeper, pushes it over the crossbar. Good start of the game.
And it's good to see Walker so willing to go on the attack. But strangely again, it's Harry Kane who takes the set pieces. He's going to take this corner from the right. Kane swirls it very deep towards Cahill. It goes beyond Cahill. Kept in play on the far side of the field now by Dyer. Then it's played in by Ali, not Dyer. And then there was pressure, I think, on the goalkeeper from an England player who's in an offside position. That was Smalling.
I think he was offside lines and puts his flag up there, Smalling. They do well, that Russia. They clear the box very quickly, and I don't get Harry Kane. I understand free kicks, but corners?
Yeah, don't understand it. No matter how well he takes them. Akinfeev with a long clearance upfield, and then Walker was caught there. That foot was definitely high by Smolov. There's no need for Joe Hart to be telling this experienced Italian referee what to do. He knows. It's a warning to Smolov, and clearly you get your feet up that high again, son, and you will be booked.
Yeah, I think what was all right. You know, we keep saying England's not a little bit not streetwise, not naive. There's not any contact. Listen, Kyle Walker knows what he's doing there. Now he's on a warning.
So Joe Hart to take the free kick for England outside his penalty area, to the right of the penalty area as Hart looks at it. And here he comes. Smashes it. Right-footed, high towards Kane. Kane jumped a little bit early and is headed away by Russia. Good header down by Zuba. And then the ball is fed towards the right side. Intercepted by Danny Rose. And Rose plays it to Rooney. And Rooney on to Sterling on the far side of the field. Sterling halfway inside the Russian half. Takes on Smolnikov onto his right foot. There's the cross in. A header down, and there was an opportunity there in the far post for Harry Kane from Ali's header. Kane didn't make contact.
Well, to me, that shows something straight away. Tell Raheem Sterling to stay out wait for 15 minutes. Look at that. What we just seen, he's offside, I think, to be fair. But Dele Alli's got a free header. They don't lay crosses in the boxers team. You can see that. So don't come too narrow. Get a little bit of width and get some balls in the box.
Well, if Sterling does stay wide, Chris, it's got a dual effect, because Smolnikov will be rather less free to think of an attacking role.
Exactly.
As well as obviously what Sterling can do. Here's Ali. No player to his right. Ali keeps the ball, and he was tripped. The referee, I think his view was obscured, but perhaps the assistant on this near side drew his attention to it. Either way, it's a free kick to England. And it's played quickly. And it goes from Dyer to Rooney and on to Rose into Sterling. Inside left position for Sterling. The England captain, Rooney, again, running towards the left side. Far side of the field. So many England fans inside this Stade Velodrome. Now that pass from Rooney was a little astray. It took Walker back towards the halfway line to keep it in England's possession. He plays it to Cahill, and now it's with Smalling. Both the central defenders, we've said it before, they're both prepared to play on the right-hand side of the central duo. That's just the way it is. Somebody has to give it up. Now here's Lallana, who started really brightly. Lallana, back to Ali, onto Rooney. Rooney, surrounded by red shirts, does well, gets the ball to Walker on the right side. Walker feeds it on, but ahead of Harry Kane, and it's put out of play by Russia.
Good spelling, and they're moving the ball quickly, a lot of movement, and a lot of bodies committed forward so far. You just got to watch that counter-attack from Russia, but England dominating this game.
Wales beat Slovakia 2-1 in the opening Group B game. England really need to match that, and of course England-Wales comes up on Thursday, 2 o'clock kick-off here on 5 Live. Before that, we've got Northern Ireland, Poland tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then Monday night Chris and I will be in Paris for the Republic of Ireland against Sweden. Here's Walker coming forward for England, almost tripped, gets the ball back to Dyer, onto Walker again. Lots of England players in forward position. The back heel by Walker to Dyer. Dyer crosses towards the near post, and it's headed behind by Shenikov for a corner to England.
Well, England, terrific tempo at the minute. The Russians can't live with them at the minute. They like to play their own pace, and they're under pressure. They're trying to clear their lanes.
Once again, Harry Kane to take the corner from the right, and half a dozen players in white shirts inside that penalty, the Russian penalty area. Kane drills it in. Good header in by Smalling, but too close to the goalkeeper in the end, who catches convincingly. And then he whacks it upfield very quickly, knowing that Smalling was out of position, but there were enough England players back in defensive roles to get the ball back to Joe Hart.
It was a good header by Smalling, wasn't it, who came forward. Good delivery by Kane, but straight at the goalkeeper again. It's 2 good chances.
Here's Sterling on the far side of the field, and Sterling rushes forward. Smolnikov is after him. Another defender helps out Smolnikov, but at the expense of a corner. So Sterling causing havoc on the left, Lallana's causing havoc on the right, and sometime soon there'll be a chance for Harry Kane.
Well, I like it. They're probably they started off thinking don't play Wade, come inside a lot, but they get enjoy Wade, so keep them Wade.
But Harry Kane would have a chance of this corner because he's taking it. This time it's from the left side. He plays it right-footed in towards the near post. Wasn't a great corner, and it should be cleared properly by Russia. They'd only left 1 player upfield, and England had 2 defenders back. Here's Rose on the halfway line. Rose to the right side, and Ali brings the ball under control. Onto the captain, Rooney. And Rooney drills it towards the left side. Brilliant ball by the captain. In Harry Kane, and Harry Kane's shot is very wide.
Well, later shot Harry Kane, isn't it? I don't know that. I think it was a little bit ambitious from where he was. Great ball by Wayne Rooney. England just dominating the play. A lot of energy about them, and Russia can't live with them at the moment.
13 minutes gone. You're listening to 5 Live. It's England 0, Russia 0. Jermaine Genius, what are your opening thoughts?
Absolutely delighted with the way that England have started this game. I think the fact that Russia came out all guns blazing, trying to get in England's faces and press them high up the pitch. That woke England up. It got them started well. It got them really kind of thinking. Everyone's on their toes. There's not a player that I think looks sluggish here. You've got Kyle Walker running the show. Ali and Lallana are being very creative. Everybody wants the ball and is getting on the ball. It's been a fantastic start. All that's missing is that goal now.
Rose plays it forward to Sterling. He's got a shove at the back from Smolnikov, the right full-back, and it's a free kick to England, just short of the halfway line on the far side. That's the England left in this first half.
I think Russia are quite happy to keep stopping the game. England's getting a little rhythm going, a good tempo about them, and every time they look, as if the 4 or 5 passes and they get over the halfway line, I think Russia are quite happy to foul and slow the game back down.
I don't think it's any secret that Russia would be very happy to take a draw from this game.
They're trying to keep the rhythm out of the game. England's dominating possession.
England have a throw-in on this near side now. No, they've got another free kick. Walker's going to leave it for Dyer to take. Dyer's just going to play it back carefully to Cahill. And Cahill, 20 yards short of the halfway line, just moves forward into the available space ahead of him. And then he plays it to the captain in the centre circle, Rooney. Back to his United colleague, Smalling. Rooney once more. And Rooney, he's caught in possession there. Zuba was just too strong for the England captain. He didn't do that in a deep midfield role. Russia have the ball on the far side of the field, but there must have been a handball spotted by the Italian referee. He doesn't miss much.
No,
it's only he really
he's blown on everything at the minute. Wayne Rooney just gets caught looking for that diagonal ball, didn't he? They read it this time, but they don't get up the field. Russia too well. The front is isolated.
Good 20 yards inside the Russian half. Down the England left. Rose takes it, plays it to Kane. Kane's first touch wasn't great, and he loses the ball. And it's now with Zub on the halfway line, being marked by Smalling. Quickly played forward, and they're trying to catch England on the counter-attack here with Shatov, but it's cleared by England. That's carelessly lost in possession by Rose, and Rose then brings down the Russian player and concedes a free kick.
Oh, he has a chance, hasn't he? Zuba, to me, he's looked well. He's a target man, but he's got good technique. He's linked the play up very, very well. It's a hard role he's playing. Rose comes in on him late. He goes down very easy. We got the benefit of the replay, but it's a free kick which they are going to put in the box from that wide right.
Well, they've also brought up the two central defenders, Berezutski and Ignashevich. So the free kick from the Russian right, and Zuba is an obvious target, though England will know that. They wait, the Russians. And referee saying, get on with it, I'm not holding you up. Now it's swung into the England penalty, headed on by Ignashevich straight at Joe Hart.
Well,
worry about the run that he got.
It was in the greatest free kick. He's whipped it in. He's probably wanted it to go a little bit further than it. Just gets over the first man. It's a free header. It's a comfortable save for Joe Hart.
Here's Rooney in the centre circle. Back to Dyer. On to Rooney again. Look where Walker is. Look where Rose is. They're both in advanced attacking position for fullbacks. The ball's with Danny Rose on the far side. The England left. Back to Rooney. On to Sterling. Rooney again. Sterling once more. A few yards outside the penalty area. He's now inside the penalty area as he delayed getting the cross in. Back heels the ball to Rose. Ball swung into the 6-yard box. And knowing him properly anticipated that. It was a great ball in from Danny Rose, and it goes straight out of play, unfortunately.
What a great ball in. And you just saw, I think it was Dele Alli who hesitated. Does he go and attack it and just run in? If it doesn't come, let it go past you. It doesn't matter. He waited to see what was going to happen. Sterling did ever so well. Little back heel, which gave Rose a chance to whip it across between the 6-yard line and the goalkeeper, and nobody gambles on it. What a chance.
That was a very good cross from Danny Rose. 17 minutes played here in Marseille. It's unsurprisingly 17 minutes past 9 at night. I know you're an hour behind us back in the UK. You're listening to 5 Live, and it's England 0, Russia 0 so far. England have had the better of the game, but we await a goal. It's coming. Just a feeling.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. It's going to come.
It's coming. Shenikov, the left back for Russia, takes a throw in just short of the halfway line, high towards Zuba. Zuba heads it infield, but he doesn't find a colleague, and is played back by Smalling to Joe Hart. There must be some midges in the air here in Marseille, because I've certainly been bitten. You didn't have a nibble up my right arm, did you, Chris?
I'm not that hungry yet.
Well, give me a warning when you are, and I'll just move slightly to my left. The ball is with Russia. And Neustadter winning only his second cap tonight. Neustadter, he was born in Ukraine, of Russian ancestry, but has played all his football in Germany, plays for Schalke, and he's the only non-Russian based player in Leonid Swirsky's 11 tonight.
And I do believe he got rushed through the process of getting to play.
Right, throw into England, Walker to take it, 18.5 minutes gone, we await the first goal here in Marseille. Walker delays and now launches it in the general direction of Harry Kane. It was actually Ali who jumped and headed it on, but it bounces harmlessly out of play, and now it will be a throw into Russia. And the really bright start to the game sort of subsided a little bit.
It's hard to keep the tempo, Alan, you know, in any football match, even weather. Listen, normally you go for, it's 20 at the minute. I still think there's more in England's tank down is wrong, but it's very demanding when you're pressing the game all the time.
England have never won their opening game in the European Championship, and that's at 8 attempts. Time to change that. Ball is back with Berezutski, and now taken up by Ignashevich. Berezutski once more on the far side of the field. The two central defenders just playing the ball amongst themselves at the moment, the Russians. And now it's driven towards the left side, but that was easily chested down by Walker. Walker's pass back to Cahill wasn't invited because he was challenged immediately, but the ball squirts behind Oshmolov for a goal kick for Joe Hart, who takes it quickly, just tapping it outside his penalty area to Chris Smalling. Smalling moves towards the far side, towards the left, finds Danny Rose. Danny Rose's pass upfield hits a Russian and rebounds, and then it's headed back by Dyer to Joe Hart once more, who throws it out quickly to the near side, and Cahill moves slowly towards the halfway line, plays it back to Dyer to Rooney, who showed and got the pass that he wanted, and then Rooney hits it toward the far side, intercepted, but it's a poor clearance by Smolnikov, collected by England. It's now with Rose inside the penalty. Oh, such a disappointing cross by Danny Rose, as poor as the previous one had been. Excellent, and Russia clear easily.
Just got to relax a little bit more in them areas. You know, there was no rush there to put that ball in. He could have actually had a touch, but all right, the earlier it goes, more chances you normally get, but just relax a little bit more in that final third.
Still plenty of daylight here in the south of France, and let's hope when it gets dark at the end of the game, people behave themselves down in the port area in particular. We've had trouble the last two nights in Marseille, and it does make you wince when you follow England and you go to bed at night thinking, well, there could be trouble, and there has been. So let's cool it, folks. Here's Sterling for England on the far side of the field. Sterling back to Dyer. Sterling and Lallana have both started well. Here's Lallana, immediately sweeps the ball towards the right side to Walker, and Lallana rushes forward. Walker moves infield, then he passes it on to Adam Lallana, a yard into the right touchline. Good ball into Ali to Walker. Excellent football from England. Walker plays it back. Lallana's in the penalty, shoots a foot wide of goal.
Wonderful football by England, isn't it? They're moving the ball ever so well. Kyle Walker's having a very good game down his right hand side. He's playing it winger. It allows Lallana to tuck inside. Lovely. Dele Alli will be involved, and Lallana, again, it's just having that little bit of composure. He snatches at it and he drags it wide. Just that little bit composure. England are playing very well.
He's had two good chances, Lallana. One was Seri Barkin, who takes the goal kick now, away towards the far side of the field. Headed in field by Russia, but Rose is there. Rose looks for Sterling, didn't find Sterling, and it's with Zuba. Zuba backheels the ball, can't find a colleague, and England play it back through Rose to Joe Hart. England 0, Russia 0 at the midway point of the first half, and I'm sure John Murray's itching to get into commentary.
Thanks, Alan. And I made a note, by the way, 22nd minute, Chris Waddle says, wonderful football by England. Haven't heard you say that too many times over the years.
You've got to do it before you say it.
Yes, that's the point. But the point is, last time we all gathered to watch England for the Portugal game, we were talking about square pegs in round holes. Tonight, they look really comfortable, don't they?
Yeah, there's a confidence about them. They all seem, they want the ball, they're all enjoying it, they're playing a good tempo, and now some of the movements being excellent. And then, as I say, people take a gamble, have a little bit more composure in the final third. They could have been 2 or 3-0 up already.
However, they haven't scored. And they always say in football you need to score when you're on top, but it is Russia 0, England 0. This is 5 Live at Euro 2016 on a beautiful night here next to the Mediterranean in Marseille, where there are high clouds above this fabulous Stade Velodrome, and Kane is heading it on down the right to Lallana. Sterling's away into the box. Oh, the final challenge comes in from the right back Smoliknikov to slide it behind for a corner.
Well, could he hit it a little bit earlier? Could he just hit it when he was running with it first time? But he didn't. Brilliant defended.
Yeah, the right back came across and just slid in at the crucial moment. But again, some excellent interplay from England. Kane to take the corner from the right-hand side. That's really the only point of criticism so far, the fact that Kane is taking the corners. Here he is, Kane, to the edge of the 6-yard box, but is headed up and back towards the Tottenham striker, who miscontrols it. It was a sort of moon ball, wasn't it, that he tried to bring down next to the quadrant and miscontrolled it behind for a goal kick. So it remains Russia 0, England 0, in a stadium here that is overwhelmingly populated by England supporters. The Russians, I think there are around about 10-12,000 of them. There are actually many England supporters in there as well. I've had a look at that section, and strangely the atmosphere in the ground here is quite light. It's a light sort of feel-good atmosphere, and it just makes you think, how on earth can we have these horrible scenes going on down in the harbour, in the old port? I mean, Chris, you've been showing me some of the pictures which have been sent around the world that just look shocking.
Well,
really.
It's not all of them, unfortunately.
No.
We have got some mugs, and we'll let we down.
Yeah, and who knows as well the part that perhaps Russians and others have played in it all, but it doesn't sound good. So more on that, I'm sure, later in the evening. But 0-0, Russia 0, England 0, and let's bring in our other ex-England player with us tonight here on 5 Live, Jermaine Jenas, for another word. Jermaine.
Yeah, John, I think it's brilliant to see the relationships that are actually developing tonight. Chris mentioned the fact that the team seem a lot more comfortable in the positions that they're playing. The relationship between Lallana and Kyle Walker down this right-hand side, Danny Rose and Raheem Sterling, who's playing some of the best football I've seen him play all season. The only kind of downside to the proceedings tonight is that we're 25 minutes into the game and I've not seen much of Harry Kane at all, and I think if he comes to life, then we might see a goal.
Yes, Harry Kane, who played in the under-21 tournament last summer, didn't score, so it's not been a great deal said about that. He'll feel that, having not scored there, the pressure is on him to lead the line and to score the goals here. But he is taking those set pieces. Remember him scoring from a set piece on his debut after 79 seconds. It's England. Sterling almost nipped the ball back from the captain Vasily Berezutski on the far side, but Russia have it in these maroon coloured shirts, I think you would call them, the Russians wearing tonight, with the gold trim. Danny Rose being put under pressure, but comes away with the ball, and then a sliding challenge comes in on him from Kokorin to deflect it out of play on the far side of the Velodrome from where we are. Throw into England. They've rebuilt the stadium brilliantly, because you still have the famous old stand on the opposite side of the ground, the 3-tier stand, but now it's got a roof over the top of it. They've made it with sort of respect to the way that the Velodrome used to be. As Smoliknikov is fouled by Sterling, and it's a free kick to the Russians just inside their own half on the far side. Russia 0, England 0. Russia, who were struggling to qualify for this World Cup under Fabio Capello, who left the post, and Leonid Slutsky, the CSKA Moscow coach, took over. They won the last 4 matches, and here they are. Brilliant free kick taken to the left-hand side, but then the ball through from Smolov was easy for Joe Hart.
I think we all had question marks about this Russian side, and they're working hard, give them that, but they've rode the luck so far. England are far superior in every department.
Jamie Vardy not selected in the starting lineup, but Sterling, who is playing quite wide on the left-hand side, has done well so far. He's combining with Rose now, and now it's up to Dele Alli just outside the area square to Smalling through to Kane, who must be offside. He is. He puts the ball in the net, but the flag goes up, rightly so. Goal, free kick, Russia.
I say that's the best part of their game, Russia. They actually ball the high lane, they squeeze when the ball goes back a square. They're very good at it. They get out the area, they clear the area a lot, and Harry Kane's 3-4 yards offside. But England all over the park are winning their battles, and you just hope they don't run out of steam, because at the minute they're playing very, very well.
It's 0-0. This is 5 Live. 3 more Euro 2016 commentaries on 5 Live tomorrow, including Northern Ireland's first appearance at the tournament, their first appearance at any European Championship final, and they are playing Poland tomorrow in Nice, just along the coast from here, and we'll have commentary. It's a simulcast with BBC Ulster, so Gerry Taggart, former Northern Ireland central defender, will be alongside his namesake Joel for the commentary. That's the middle game of the 3 tomorrow. First Turkey-Croatia for you from 2 o'clock, and then Germany-Ukraine this time tomorrow, when Jens Lehmann will be making his debut as a 5 Live summariser alongside Conor McNamara, which I think will be well worth listening to. But it is England tonight. England 0-0 with Russia, with almost half an hour played. England by a margin the better team, but it is the Russians who play it down the left-hand side. Shenikov, the left back, does well to keep possession, plays it into the edge of the area, but Golovin is easily dispossessed, and England clear to the halfway line. Golovin gets it back. He's the young rising star of the midfield, but Russia go back into their own half to the captain, Vasily Berezutsky. Across as it goes to Ignashevich, the other central defender. He's the father of the squad, 36 years old. Ball played into the England penalty area, but a couple of headers from the central defender, Smalling, and from Cahill, and it ends up back in the hands of Joe Hart. So we're high up in the stand here, but Ian Dennis is behind the goal that Joe Hart's defending. Ian.
Yeah, but the thing that has struck me so far, Johnny, and you're talking about the trouble down by the port earlier today, the segregation at the far end of the field, to your right, was limited and concerning to begin with. But it's now wafer thin because the Russian supporters are actually standing on the tarpaulin sheets that are designed to separate the two sets of supporters. The stewards are there with their luminous jackets, but that's a concern.
Here's Ali through the middle for England, but couldn't find the pass to Sterling. So Russia will break on the counter-attack, and England are stretched here. It's 3 against 3. This could be trouble for England. Dyer comes back into position. Now the ball to the right-hand side is flipped across, but Rooney is there to volley it away inside the England penalty area. And Ali then sets England off on the attack with a header to Sterling. And now Russia could be stretched. Oh, but Sterling's passes is poor. It's straight at Smolnikov. And Russia have it back inside their own defensive
England's
third.
just come off the pace the last 5 minutes. It's been demanding. We know it's a lot of legwork they've put in, and you've just got to watch that counter-attack. Russia wasted a great opportunity there, and then Sterling breaks 4 against 4 basically, and he gives it away so cheaply.
It's 0-0 if you've just joined us, and Vasily Berezutsky has the ball halfway inside his own half and knocks it across to Ignashevich, the two 30-plus-year-old central defenders. There are 8 players in this Russian squad who are 30 or over, but in actual fact only 3 of them are in this team, the 2 central defenders and the goalkeeper Akinfeev. Elsewhere it's actually quite a young Russian starting lineup, but they've lost possession, the Russians, and now here's the bearded Lallana in the centre circle. Rooney there near the centre spot, plays it to the space to Walker, who's been really bright down the right hand side. Kyle Walker making his tournament debut, just like all of the other Tottenham players in this England team, all 5 of them. Here's Dyer, another of them. Dyer, who was in the under-21s at the start of the season for England. Now it's brought forward by Cahill. It might have been clipped there, but in any case England in the white shirts have it. Rooney sends it through the middle, and a touch from the defender deflects it behind for a corner. It was Berezutsky in with the challenge, and he just got there first ahead of Dele Alli.
That's what he does, Dele Alli. Just goes in from behind the midfield, and the centre-halves didn't see him coming. Great ball, great spot by Wayne Rooney. Just couldn't control it. Corner.
And principally, when we talk about round pegs and round holes, it's Dele Alli really. Yeah. He's in the right area tonight. Corner then. Kane to take it from the right-hand side. This is at the Russian end. Kane takes it in. It's a deep one this time. It's over everyone, in fact, over Cahill. But Ali was there, and it has just popped out of play for a throw into England on the far side. 15 yards inside the Russian half. Still 0-0 on 5 Live. And Ali is waiting, actually, I think, for Danny Rose to come across. He will leave it. No, he will take the throw himself. Ali back to Smalling inside his own half, who chests it down. And England have it inside their own half and actually go all the way back to Joe Hart. Just past the half hour. 32, almost 33 minutes played. It's 0-0. Just beginning to get dark now. You can feel the darkness falling, and the floodlights now around this undulating roof above our heads are beginning to take effect. as Hart clears to the halfway line, where it's headed on by Walker. It should be dealt with by Shenikov, who almost got himself into a pickle. But Lallana, in the end, it's deflected off him, out of play, for a throw-in to Russia, halfway inside their own half. Roy Hodgson still stands there in his blue England suit, 68 years old, the oldest coach or manager at Euro 2016. He's actually up against the youngest coach or manager today, Leonid Slutsky, who looks 1 or 2 years older than his 45 years old, the Russian coach, who's doing this job for nothing, they say. Here's Walker down the right-hand side, gives it to Ali just outside the Russian penalty area. Change of feet from Ali. Walker was in an offside position, so Ali cleverly kept hold of it, takes it out to the right-hand side, beats 2 men. Ali now pulls it across to the edge of the area. Rooney controls and shoots, and it's punched away by Akinfeyev, the goalkeeper. It was straight at him, but it was coming at pace, and he just fisted it away as he stood on his 2 feet.
It was a brilliant set. I know what you're saying, his reaction was fantastic. Just punches it straight away, didn't hesitate.
Russia in trouble here. England are pressing and not allowing them to dwell on the ball, and Lallana does really well again against Shenikov, and he didn't know what to do with it, and he was fortunate to win a throw-in.
Good play. Dele Alli set it up, didn't he? The shot by Rooney just comes out, and Dele Alli did ever so well in the bottom corner, and he just pulls it back, one touch, smash. Goalkeeper made an early decision, it was the right one. Good 2 fists on it.
Rousing atmosphere inside the ground from these thousands and thousands of England supporters. The capacity in here is 67,000. Ali just couldn't keep the ball in there. It's just over the line. The Italian assistant flagged for it. I mean, of 67,000, what are we saying? 45,000 England supporters? More than that.
Yeah.
Russia with Shenikov. Shenikov is... Lallana was all over him again and again. Nervousness from the Russian left back.
Good. The Russian and the pressing, they don't like it. They want time on the ball, or a nice football outfit when they get the ball. You can see technically they're quite good, but when they've been rushed by England, they don't like it. You can see how England's had a lot of joy of doing it.
The Russians don't like Russian.
I thought he'd spot that.
Yes. Free kick then. It was actually a handball in the end from Lallana, and well, Ignashevich went for a 70-yard crossfield pass that was just cut out, and now it's played forward by Rose for Kane. Kane just beaten to it by Ignashevich, who got across quickly actually from where he took the free kick to deflect it behind for a corner from the far side.
Where was the other centre half? The gap was absolutely enormous. If they just played it a little bit earlier, Kane would have been running in on goal.
It's England's 6th corner of the first half. It's Russia 0, England 0. England with lots of white shirts in the Russian box, but they take the corner short. Kane, back to Kane. Kane throws it in, and it's straight through into the arms of Akinfeyev, with Gary Cahill the closest to getting a touch on it, and he wasn't far off it.
No, he wasn't far off it. He had a lunge at it, didn't he? Tried to get his right foot on it. Great ball in, a lot of pace. But again, Russia just got far enough out past the 6-yard box. Difficult to get on the end of it.
Again, good from England though. And after all the this is wrong, that's wrong, the system's wrong, it's all right on the night so far, with the obvious exception of a goal. Russia 0, England 0. And the other thing as well, for those listening to us back at home, you know, when we heard that this game was going to be played in Marseille, we thought, well, that'll be a steamy, sultry night in Marseille, down here on the Mediterranean coast. But in actual fact, it's very like a British summer's evening. It's the breeze is blowing in, the cooling breeze off the Mediterranean Sea, and as a result, the temperature, it feels round about 20 degrees, something like that. Ball's out of play again. Tired looking swing of the leg from Smolnikov, throw in to England, to Rooney. Rooney, the captaining England in the tournament for the first time. It's Rooney's 6th major international tournament. Here he is with Lallana now on the right-hand side. Lallana, but Golovin was back there helping out Shenikov, and then it deflects off Lallana out of play for a throw into Russia halfway inside their own half. There is a 6:06 tonight as well to take your calls on 5 Live about the day's happenings so far at Euro 2016. And Kelly Cates back in Paris. We'll have Danny Murphy with her for the 6:06 phone in tonight, 0500 909 693 to take the calls later. But Russia being pressed again by England, and Dele Alli very nearly winning it back there. And then another two England players appear on the scene, Walker and Lallana. Then it's up to Ali, and then Lallana just nicks it away and a drag back and plays it through to Ali. And once again Shenikov was beaten, and Ali plays it through and just overhits it through for Kane's run. And Akinfeev is able to come out and pick it up.
Some excellent football, I've got to say. I really enjoyed watching England tonight, and I know you don't often hear me say that, John, but the movement, the tempo, Russia just can't live with them at the minute. Getting a lot of joy down this right-hand side. I'd like to see Sterling getting the game a little bit more down that left foot. They're getting so much joy down this right-hand side. And Dele Alli's just playing in that inside right position, and nobody's picking him up.
6 minutes to go to half-time, or thereabouts. Russia 0, England 0. This is BBC 5 Live. We're live in Marseille tonight, and Danny Rose is just shepherding the ball out of play on the far side for a throw-in to England. England, who've never won their opening match, their first match at a European Championship. I'm not sure whether it counts for anything, but they've never won their first match. They've never won the European Championship. And Russia, who were winners of the first European Championship when they played under the banner of the Soviet Union. Lallana sliding in a little recklessly in centre field, but Russia had it back. And now the ball played to the right-hand side to Kokorin. We've not seen much of him. Now Smolnikov. Back it goes to the right-hand side. Russia with Dzyuba, the dangerous Dzyuba on the edge of the penalty area, 6'5". Now it's with Neustädter, the Ukrainian-born former German international. Cross from the right from Smolnikov is blocked by Rose. Sterling gets there first to use his pace. He's away from Smolnikov, then checks back Sterling because he's waiting for reinforcements. And so Sterling has the ball at walking pace. And then it's back to Rose behind him. Sterling again has space on that left-hand side if he wants to have a dart. But no, checks back and gives it back to Eric Dyer. Rooney, then back to Dyer once again. It is very much, by the way, Dyer in the central position in front of the back four, with Rooney playing to his left, which is his Manchester United position of late, and Ali playing forward to his right, and taking every opportunity, Dele Alli, to get forward to join the front line. Throw-in for Walker to take for England in front of the huge Russian coaching area, which is completely empty. When Slutsky's in there, he does his best to fill it. Here's Rooney. Now gets it again, just takes it down on his thigh. Rooney then works it to the left-hand side to Rose. Rose has space here, a couple of touches, then drills it in right across the 6-yard box from an angle, just ahead of Kane and through for a goal kick.
Again, Russia don't drop on top of the goalkeeper, do they? They try and hold a high line, and that ball was fizzed across. And unfortunately, no England player could catch that. He's hit that really hard, a lot of pace. Harry Kane arrives, but the ball's already out for a goal kick.
So it's Russia 0, England 0. That's Chris Waddle, 62 caps for England. We have Jermaine Genius as well with us inside the stadium tonight. And all of the England matches, all of the matches involving the British and Irish teams, you'll be able to hear here on 5 Live, as we always have done at the major tournaments. Here's Rooney, who takes it up in a deep lying position again. Rooney directing the traffic. Little ball through towards Sterling, and Sterling now moving into a central area, but just overrunning it. But the ball will be blocked out to Rooney, who dummied as if to shoot, but gave it to the left-hand side. Rose's ball in, Sterling with a touch, but it's punched away by Akinfeev. Not sure whether he got much of a touch on that, Sterling, if anything at all. But England win it back once again with Rose. Russia were trying to break away, but England have snuffed it out. Now Walker. Kane has peeled out to the right-hand side. He's moving in from the right into a central area. He's on his left foot, Harry Kane. So he just lays it off at close quarters to Rooney. Russians are chasing shadows. Dyer now to Walker. Walker twisting Shenikov one way and the other, and he just about recovers and concedes a throw.
It's all in, and they just can't put that final touch on the back of the net. The approach play's been great.
It's actually Smolov this time that Kyle Walker beat, but he's beaten Shenikov time and time again. It's a throw-in. Walker to take it. Half-time approaching. 2.5 minutes, just under that. Still 0-0 though. Walker with the throw. Long one to the edge of the 6-yard box. Berezutski just got his head to it and was able to clear it away to the far side to Dzyuba, who is back helping out his defence. And Dzyuba's leaning. Oliver Sterling, who was adjudged to have committed the initial foul on the Russian striker, so it's a free kick to the Russians.
Well, there'll be no rush from the Russians. Yeah, they're looking for half-time. They need a breather. England's been all over them, haven't they? And how they're not winning this football match, I don't know.
But they're not, and that's the worry. That'll be the worry for Roy Hodgson and Ray Lewington, who's just coming out in his blue anorak. Saying it's not red hot, but I'm not sure it's an evening for an anorak. Ignashevich hitting a long ball over the top to Dzyuba, who is in an offside position. So it's a free kick to England in front of their own penalty area. We're in the 44th minute, still 0-0. One or two stewards I just noticed appearing in front of the end that's housing most of the Russian supporters. Don't think there's anything untoward going on. Don't think there is. The ball's back with Hart, who clears from the penalty area, and it is chested down by Rose. Did really well, Rose, against Kokori. Rose takes it on now, gives it to Sterling. Rooney is available. Rooney always seems to be available in this game. Rooney then clips one of those long crossfield passes out to Walker. Walker now. Walker beats his man to the edge of the area. Walker slips it through to Lallana, who is in an offside position. Free kick Russia.
Well, I think it's one of them, when teams are high line like that, you've got to have your runs forward. You need to strike as a forward players to come out, maybe play a 1-2 or go yourself, because they're holding such a high line.
Ali's the man who you could see beating that
somebody's in a late run, but the strikers have got to come out, and even a 1-2 with Kyle Walker, he's got the pace to get him behind.
National anthem rings around the Stade Velodrome. Wonder if the Queen's watching. She might be listening, Chris. Happy birthday, Mum, if you are. The ball's back with Berezutsky, and that's it. No added time at all. The half-time whistle goes, and very few faults really that we can pick with England tonight. The major complaint so far is that they've not been able to turn all of this wonderful play into a goal.
I think Russia will be delighted it's 0-0. It's been all England. They've had numerous chances, and unfortunately they haven't had that killer touch in front of the goal. But up to the 18 over, in the 18 over at times, they've just been so unlucky in front of the goal. The football's been great, the tempo's been good, movement. Everybody looks very confident, everybody looks fresh, and they've just got to keep going, they'll get the rewards.
Well, we talked about wanting to see fresh, energetic, exciting play from England. So far, we've had it, but no goals. Russia 0, England 0, and Mark Chapman is here with us in the stadium in Marseille.
It is. Russia, in their deep red playing kit, will kick off, attacking the end to our right, behind which the majority of their fans are. There's no change in either 11. I'll run down the two 11s when I get a chance. The referee, Nicola Rizzoli, who's been excellent, is just waiting for television to tell him to get the second half underway, and we are underway. So there was very little to criticise from an England perspective. I thought Rooney was excellent. I thought Ali, Russia are on the attack now, but thankfully the assistant on the near side raises his flag for offside against Corcoran, and it's a free kick to England. The only problem, as far as I saw, Chris, was actually we're getting less on Harry Kane than we anticipated. He hasn't really
No, he
got
hasn't
out of
fired.
position.
No, he's been closely marked. You've got to say all the players around him and the midfield,
Very good.
Everybody's played very, very well, and we just need him to start firing in the second half. But I've said you've got quality players on the bench. Sturridge, we know, can put the ball in the net.
There's somebody called Jamie Vardy as well.
Yep, there's another one. So
And
we missed him
Rashford.
out.
Here's Rooney playing the ball towards Raheem Sterling. I think it's going to beat Sterling. Yes, it does. Goes behind for a goal kick for Russia. And these are the two 11s. England's goalkeeper is Hart. The defence is Walker, Cahill, Smalling and Rose. Then we've got Dyer, Ali and Rooney. Then Lallana and Sterling either side of Kane. Russia's keeper is Akapayev, much the busier of the two keepers. Their defence from right to left: Shmolnikov, Berezutsky, Ignashevich and Shennikov. Then we've got Neustadter and Golovin as the two holding midfield players. Then a trio of Shmolov, Shatov and Corcoran, and finally Zuba, this giant striker. He's caused the odd difficulty, but in terms of efforts at Joe Hart's goal, I think only Ignashevich's header has remotely troubled him. England in their white strip with red socks, just that sort of blue flash across the shoulders. second half hasn't got underway properly yet.
No, I was expecting England to say carry on and go and press them first 10 minutes, see if you can get that goal, but they're just quite happy to sit where they want to bring Russia out.
Berezutski plays the ball forward. Zuba heads it down, but England intercept and it's cleared over the halfway line. Berezutski heads it forward again. Oh goodness gracious, Dyer's lunge was a bit rash. The referee allows play to continue, and the ball is with Corcoran just outside the England penalty area. Corcoran taps it back, and actually Russia have started very attack-minded at the beginning of this second half. 2.5 minutes gone. You're listening to 5 Live on the BBC. England 0, Russia 0. Earlier, Wales beat Slovakia by 2-1, and 6:06 tonight will be Kelly Cates and Danny Murphy live from Paris. The number to call will be the usual 10500 909 693.
I don't know if they talked about this at half time about saying drop off and see if we can bring Russia out, but you're asking for a bit of trouble. They're letting Russia do what they want at the minute.
Smalling heads the ball away. Sterling is there. Sterling taps it back to Rooney, who's been excellent in his cap, but he's caught in possession there. Corcoran takes it off him. Corcoran just outside that England penalty area once more. Bright from Russia. The ball breaks into the penalty area. Corcoran is there, pulls it back, and there was a vital interception there. I think it was Gary Gale.
They just haven't come out on the second half. England are sitting deep.
Wakey,
There's no
wakey,
pressure on the
lads.
ball.
Wakey, wakey. Much as we were enthusing about England in the first half, it's a slightly concerning start buying into the second period. And, well, that seemed a rash challenge by Dyer, but the referee was close by, and he didn't see anything wrong. But England put the ball out of play. So that, is it Zuba?
Yep.
Who can receive treatment?
Yep, it was
No, it wasn't Zuba, sorry, it was Smolov.
Yeah, it was.
How can I get Smolov and Zuba mixed up? There's only about a foot between them in terms of
They
height.
look the same on the line down.
Throw in on the far side to Russia, but they'll throw it back into England's possession. It's thrown back to Joe Hart. Hart pulls the ball out underarm to Chris Smalling, onto the near side to Danny Rose. Both fullbacks, Rose and in particular Walker, excellent in the first half. Rose plays it back to Hart, out to Rose again. He's immediately put under a little bit of pressure, stabs the ball forward to Rooney. Rooney turns and was fouled by Smolnikov, and it's a free kick to England.
They're not frightened to give free kicks away, are they? In the right areas, I suppose. It's in the
Doesn't
England
matter
half,
in the
yeah.
opposition half. No.
It's,
England just, well, there must have been something in that coffee, or whatever they had at half time. A bit dozy. Rose to take the free kick, and he plays it back to Smalling, and Smalling to Hart. Hart not really under pressure from Zuba, plays it away to the far side of the field, and now it's run forward by Walker. And Walker hits it beyond Lallana. Careful header away by Ignashevich. Ball almost on the halfway line now with Dyer. Dyer loses it. It's with Shatov. Shatov playing it back, and Russia have certainly started the second half in much better form than they displayed in the first half.
they're dictating the pace of the game, where England dominated the first half. They were excellent and really impressed, but now they've come off the pace, England, and Russia are dictating the pace of the game. There's no doubt about that.
Being played at walking pace at the moment, but here's Neustadter. And Neustadter on towards the far side of the field. Here's with Shenikov back into his own half to Ignashevich. And he plays it to Berezutski, the two CSK Moscow central defenders. And England fans are probably a little bit frustrated at the way their side has started this second half, but they'll be encouraged for that loose pass. It's out of play, and it's going to be a throw into England just on the halfway line on the far side of the field. That's the England right. Oh goodness, that was wasted. I don't think Ali was expecting the throw to be thrown in his direction. He certainly didn't make any move to play it, and Russia picked up possession. But here's Ali again. Ali onto the far side of the field, and now it's with Lallana. Lallana can't get past the defender, but it's out of play for a throw-in. It's Walker actually.
Kyle Walker, yeah, he's driving by the by-lane, but good defending again. And Russia have started very bright second half.
Yeah, they're quicker to the ball than England are. But there's time to change that. 6 minutes played since half-time. Still England 0, Russia 0. Throw-in taken by Walker, and he gets the return from Lallana, and he wins another throw-in. It's about 8 yards from the corner flag down the England right flank. England fans are all over this place, aren't they?
It's got to be 50.
Fantastic turnout. How did they get the tickets?
50,000 has got to be.
Walker launches the ball into the penalty area towards Cahill, who was up there, headed away well by Russia, and then it's headed back in. Chance for Sterling. Sterling was onside, couldn't bring the ball under control initially. Now he has it. Now he's fouled. That's a free kick. The Italian referee has missed nothing tonight.
No, he's been good. And again, it's a silly free kick. Russia's giveaway. And actually, I was watching Harry Kane in the warm-up, and he was shooting not from this angle, but not far from it.
It's a very, very acute angle. I mean, he's only 2.5 yards, 2 yards now as the referee pushes the ball closer towards the goal line. It's only 2 yards from the goal line, this free kick, and a foot to the left of the penalty area.
He's going to shoot here.
Well, Akinfeyev is a very experienced goalkeeper, but he must be alert to the danger of it going into the top far right-hand corner. Here's Harry Kane, taken with his corner kick ability so far tonight. But what about this free kick? It's asking a lot. He plays it in. Look, goodness gracious, it went straight through the 6-yard box, and now Akinfeyev punches it clear. I don't think even England players expected that. Here's Sterling. Sterling was offside. Offside. I got up a little bit late.
They do that very well, Russia. And I've not really got a lot of good things to say about Russia, to be fair, what I've saw them so far. But the one thing they do is they clear that penalty area very, very quickly, and they're always well offside. It's a good save as well.
Akinfeyev made sure that rather squandered that possession from Russia. Ball played forward to Harry Kane. Kane didn't quite bring the ball under control, but his tenacity keeps it in England's possession. Harry Kane, a few yards outside the penalty, trying to dribble his way forward. He tackled and fouled, and another free kick to England. This one to the right of the D.
Very persistent. Harry Kane loses it, gets it back, and he's earned himself a free kick in a very good position.
Right, Rooney wants it though. Rooney's got the ball. I think he's ushering Kane away. He is.
I'm surprised at where Rooney's going to shoot from there.
He's going to head it right-footed. It wouldn't appear to be a position favoured by a right-footed strike.
I'd like to see him reverse it to the far post. Aim for the far post. The goalkeeper thinks you're going to go over the wall. Try and reverse it to where the goalkeeper's actually standing now.
It's about 25 yards from Akinfeyev, the position of the free kick. Dyer talking to Rooney. Rooney shapes up now. The captain will take the free kick. 10 minutes into the second half. England 0, Russia 0. England haven't started the second half well. How they could do with a goal here. He swings it in. It's a poor free kick. Head over the crossbar onto the roof of the netting.
Yeah, it was very difficult, tall wall, and really it's sort of the left footer, isn't it, really, where the angle it is, but or reverse at the far post for a header, but no,
squandered.
Not the best effort we've seen.
Squandered. Jermaine Genius, so what do you... we'll go to Jermaine Genius in a moment. Let's hear what Ian Dennis has got to say behind the goal.
Alan, after that previous free kick, Smolnikov's been given his final warning for persistent defending by the referee.
Naughty Smolnikov. Jermaine, what are your thoughts? Slightly change game?
Well, one of the things I would say is that obviously England didn't come out with the same intensity. I felt that it allowed the Russian side to maybe have a chat at half-time and adjust the way that they played, because Rooney was finding holes, Dele Alli was finding positions to get into, and that's the problem when you don't get that goal. It allows the other team to adjust, and they've done that, but thankfully England have raised the tempo a little bit now, and every time they do that, they win the ball and they get on the attack, so they just need to keep the intensity high. When they start dropping too deep, you know, the big lad up front for Russia, he causes problems, and all it takes is one thing to drop and you're in trouble. So keep that pressure and that intensity in the game, and they'll be fine.
Talking about the big lad up front, Zuba, he infringed, and the Italian referee Nicola Rizzoli picked it up, so it's an England free kick. Just a little more urgency from England would be welcome. The way they started the first half would be ideal, plus a goal. Here's Rose.
Well, they're playing slower now, not giving the ball away, Alan, but it suits Russia because they can get around the park a little bit quicker.
Cahill into Rooney again, front edge of the circle in the Russian half, and now he chips it towards the right side, towards Walker. Walker had to head that ball in towards Lallana, didn't quite get the trajectory right, and Russia should clear it. Not a great clearance. Dyer is there. Rooney He's challenged, he thinks he's fouled. The referee thinks it's the other way, and Russia have the advantage, and they're on the attack now with Smolnikov running up from right back, and he clattered into Rose, but Rose played the ball forward. Here's Sterling emerging deep into the Russian half, checks inside the defender. Oh dear, I don't know what he was trying to do. They played the ball through the legs of the defender, didn't work, didn't look remotely likely to come off. Here's Cochrane towards the left side, and he's with Zuba moving inside. He's going to be hard to stop. Zuba to Cochrane, wide towards Zuba again. The ball is cleared to safety though by Walker, out for a Russian throw-in.
Well, it's more of an even game. In the first half, England were dominant and deserved all the praise they got, apart from putting the ball about the net. But now Russia getting a bit more time on the ball. They seem a little bit more confident. But Sterling there, he had players on the edge of the box, just roll it square, edge of the D.
That was the Sterling that we've seen at Manchester City for most of the season, not the Sterling we saw in the first half tonight. Now, Russia have the ball inside the England penalty area. The shot was goalwards. It hit Danny Rose and flips behind for a corner to Russia.
First corner for Russia.
I was going to say, I don't recall them having a corner in the first
free
half.
kick where they got a header, but this is the first corner.
So, far more promising from the Russian perspective in front of their fans. Away to our right. Shatov of Zenit St. Petersburg to take the corner from the right, drills it in, goes down in, and goodness, the header backwards. I was tipped over by Joe Hart. I'm not sure whose header it was. It was a Russian header. I think it was Dyer.
It was Dyer. He headed it into the ground, and Joe Hart, no risk, just flicks it over the crossbar.
So another corner from the right for Shatov to take, and that was alarming enough. Dyer's defensive header almost led to an own goal. It's played in deep. It's headed away by England, edge of the D, and then the shot was high and wide by Golovin. Goal kick to England.
Yeah, it's a more of an even game now, and Russia have sort of come to life slightly, a little bit more movement, a little bit tempo about them, and England's just got to up it. I know I've noticed he's got subs warming up now, right, so maybe in 5-10 minutes we'll see a couple of changes.
Reminding you that earlier Wales beat Slovakia by 2-1 in the opening Group B match, and in France's group, Switzerland beat Albania 1-0. That was a very good game actually. Albania played with 10 men for the whole of the second half, having had their captain Chana sent off, but they looked a decent side. Switzerland were quite fortunate to win the game 1-0. Russia on the attack again. The ball's to the right of the England penalty. Cochrane's attempted cross was blocked by Dyer at the expense of another corner.
Yeah, that's a long throw down the touchline. Nobody gets his head on. He just runs in and plays it off Dyer for another corner.
Quarter of an hour played in the second half, dominated so far by Russia. Once more, Shatov from the right. There it goes a long way. It's a sort of glancing header on by the captain, Ignashevich, and it's wide behind for a goal.
Well, they carry a little bit of a threat. They're good deliveries, a lot of pace on them.
Berezovsky's header, sorry.
Yeah, he just good pace on his corners, pulls them away just alongside the 6-yard box.
Well, Joe Hart took that goal kick short. I'm not sure that was the right thing to do, the way the Russians are pressing at the start of this second half. But anyway, England survived. A little scare. Ali plays it into Kane. Kane can't beat it on. Lallana had made a good run, beaten away by Russia to the halfway line, where it's met by Dyer and collected by Rooney. Rooney left of the centre circle. On to Dyer again. Rose is to his left. Sterling's ahead of him. The pass goes to Sterling. But look, it's just so much slower by England.
It's very slow now. They really are just. It just looked natural first half. The tempo, the movement, and they've just sort of slowed the game right down. England.
Rooney on towards the left side, and Rose crosses first time into the penalty area. Careful header away. Goes to Rooney, to Lallana, and back to Dyer. A couple of yards in advance of the centre circle. Good ball by Dyer to his Spurs colleague, Walker down the right. Back infield to Dyer in the inside right position. On towards Walker, but he was tracked back, and it's cleared by Russia. To Zuba, inside the centre circle, brought down by Cahill. I think that's going to be a yellow card. It is.
Yeah, first one. I mean, he's rolling around the floor. I mean, he's caught his ankle, but come on, get up. Yeah, he has got up now. He saw the card come out.
Just worried about the change in this second half. I mean, we weren't going over the top in the first 45 minutes. England played really well. The only thing lacking was the goal. And the trouble is, Chris, when you get to half-time, it's been like that. How often does it happen that you go off fire in the second half? Anyway, the free kick is taken by Russia, cleared by England. Sorry, Chris, go on.
I can't explain why it happens. I don't know. They think they're well in control. They can sort of slow the game down. They're dominating the play. But you've got to say, Russia's second half, they've played okay. They've moved the ball well. They've contested the game well. They've had 4 corners and they've had 1 in first half. So England's got to up it again. If it means bringing on Vardy and Sturridge, do it. Liven it back up.
Still, I'm not saying that. Russia on the attack again. England had to be careful. The shot to the goal was just wide. Hart dived to his left. I think it was Smolov who hit the effort goalwards. Hart had it covered, but it was very, very close.
Great bit of skill. Big lad up front, causing problems again, and he just lanes it up. Tries to pass it in the bottom corner. Joe Hart scrambles across. It's a good yard, mate. I think Joe Hart would have had it.
I think he had it covered. 18 worrying minutes played at the start of the second half here on 5 Live. England 0, Russia 0. But England's dominance has gone, at least for the moment. Russia having the ball inside the England half for most of the start of this second half. Ball's behind for a goal kick. Russia are appealing that it came off an England defender and should be a corner. The referee from Italy decides it's a goal kick, which Hart takes short, and then he gets it back. And now he plays it away left-footed, but straight onto a Russian forehead. Corcoran down the right-hand side. Infield it goes. And here's Shatov. Shatov running across the middle of the England half at the moment. Onto the far side and Shennikov. Back to Shatov. They've totally woken up, Russia.
They're just controlling the game, the pace of the game. England look dead on their feet at the moment. Russia can smell it. They're enjoying it. They've upped the tempo.
19 minutes gone in the second half. England 0, Russia 0. And now we're the ones that are thinking, well, I'll take it, 0-0. The way this second half has developed, it can change. Here's Dyer. Dyer squeezes the ball through to Rooney. Rooney leaves it for Dyer again. That's good play by the England captain. Dyer in an attacking role in towards Harry Kane. Didn't get the pass right, and Russia clear. And Russia are going to counter-attack. Dyer upfield, but it's won back by Ali for England. On to Sterling. Sterling there approaching the edge to the penalty, into the penalty. Oh, the cross was awful. I mean, Kane was on the far post. It was weak.
I think he's just got to stand it up. It's not his strongest foot, his left. We know that. He did ever so well to get to the byline. Can he wrap his foot down and just stand it up at the far post?
England throwing goes to Rooney. Rooney crosses left-footed. Glancing header away by the Russian defence. Shatov onto Shennikov on the far side of the field. Suddenly their full-backs want to get forward, but Shennikov loses the ball. England have it with Walker down the right side. Walker plays it in towards Lallana. Oh, I thought Lallana might have put a foot there. Got that ball under control.
They're not far off, are they? I mean, all game, just that final ball into the box just let them down. But again, Kyle Walker, great energy levels down that right-hand side, breaking forward again.
25 minutes left for play here at the Stade Velodrome in Marseille. England 0, Russia 0. You're listening to 5 Live. The line's open for 606 0500 909 693. Kelly Cates in Paris with Danny Murphy. England are throwing on the far side of the field. Wasn't properly executed. Then it's headed forward, but that's a free kick to England. I think the offender was Zuba.
I'll see if they can put one in the box here, because normally they've just been taking little ones and going back and square. Centre halves have come forward.
Right, Cahill's already up there. Smalling's going to join him. And of course there's Harry Kane, who won't be taking this free kick, thankfully. Walker takes it, plays it to Lallana, just to the right of the penalty. Lallana's first touch wasn't great. Walker's there, crosses in towards Harry Kane, slightly ahead of the Spurs striker, and it's cleared by Russia up to the halfway line. Rose is waiting for it, and Rose retreating. I think in the end he's going to play it carefully to Wayne Rooney. And Rooney drills it through the middle, just ahead of Ali. One bounce and it's through Dakenbayev.
Yeah, a difficult ball, straight ball, wasn't it? Straight down the middle. It's got to get it right. Dele Alli just peels off the shoulder, but it's always difficult ball. It skids off the surface as well. A lot of water on this pitch before.
Is it the players, or is it something that Roy Hodgson has said to them?
I just think they've run out of legs a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, that first half was tremendous tempo. A whole lot about it. Apart from putting the ball in the net, as we say. they were brilliant, and to repeat that performance is very difficult. And I just think 3 or 4 of them have come off the pace.
Rose with a throw-in towards Harry Kane, and Kane didn't bring that ball under control, and you sort of suspect that if there's a substitution soon, it might involve Harry Kane coming off. We'll see. There are options, obviously.
Sturridge quality, you know.
Vardy, Sturridge, Rashford.
You might bring Vardy on this left-hand side for Sterling.
They've conceded a free kick, and we're at the midway point of a worrying second half. John Murray, turn it around, please. 0-0.
Right, we'll see. Thanks, Alan. Yep. Wilshere and Sturridge were warming up down there with John Stones, but they've come and sat back down, and now Jamie Vardy is warming up. Ryan Bertrand as well as the other England player down there, who's warming up in their golden coloured bibs. And I just think, you know, is this part of the master plan against this Russian team? Because the two central defenders, the experienced Russian central defenders, are gobbling up all of the crosses that are coming in. But here's Dzyuba now for Russia. Throw almost went round the outside of Smalling, who recovered well. Just about did enough and actually dispossessed him. And now Sterling, the England supporters in Marseille urging Sterling on, but he's overrun it. And Vasily Berezutski has got it back, and he gives it to the right back, Smolnikov. I was going to say, you know, at this stage in the game, unleash Vardy against the two central defenders.
Maybe, but I've got to say, John, nobody's really got in behind these two centre-halves, let's be honest. They play a high line, they read the game very well, they drop when they have to. You know, they don't stand square and say, go on, run in behind us. They know the game. When the ball goes back to square, they step up 5 yards. It's very difficult as a centre-forward or a striker to read what they're going to do.
They'll know all about Vardy, though, and despite their experience, any central defender would be worried about Vardy's pace. Russia 0, England 0. Russia with Berezutski sending the pass forward, but Smalling got there first ahead of Dzyuba. But now it's with Kokorin, who gives it back into the central area now. Neustädter. Russia building here. Golovin tries to play it through. Rooney got a header in. Neustädter, the tall midfielder, gives it to Smolnikov now. Smolnikov might have been caught there by Sterling, he was. The ball had long gone. And it's a free kick to Russia on the right-hand side. So let's get another contribution from behind the goal to our left from Ian Dennis, who's down there.
Well, the substitutes have been warming up for quite a while. Daniel Sturridge and Jack Wilshere have both sat down recently. However, the bench have just told them to go back out. They've sent them back out. So England are going to be planning a double substitution with Wilshere and Sturridge.
Thanks, Ian. Russia 0, England 0. This is BBC 5 Live. 6:06 to follow from Paris with Kelly Cates and Danny Murphy. So call now 0500 909 693 or at 5 Live Sport on any social media. Russia with a free kick though, it's played square. Smolnikov then overhits the pass through. Joe Hart's got it and gives it out to Danny Rose, who beats his man with a pass inside to Dele Alli. And England in the white shirts breaking forward now. Dele Alli, not at great pace, but gives it to Sterling. Now to Rose on the left-hand side. Rose's cross, takes a deflection, double deflection. Rooney's there. Oh, he shoots it, it's saved under the crossbar. And then Lallana was offside. Lallana hit the post with a shot, but Lallana was offside.
He was offside.
But the initial shot from Rooney was saved by Akinfeev up onto the crossbar. He did wonderfully well, the Russian goalkeeper, to save that.
Oh, Rose down his left-hand side, brilliant pullback. Rooney, you'd think this is it, goal. What an unbelievable save. You said a good save, John. It's a fantastic save. Lallana's definitely offside. What a save that is. Lallana hits the post, but he's offside. Wayne Rooney in front of him, didn't hit it as clean as he like, bit of a bubble on it. Great reaction save, one hand, right hand, onto the crossbar.
That really was a save of the highest quality. I thought it was inevitable the goal would come there for Wayne Rooney. But Akinfeev, this experienced CSKA Moscow goalkeeper, who's been around for, it feels like he's been around forever. He's only 30. Gary Neville now talking to Roy Hodgson on the edge of the coaching area. It is still goalless here. All three of the matches so far at Euro 2016 have had positive outcomes. Not least Wales win their victory against Slovakia in the first match in this group, which you may have listened to on 5 Live from Bordeaux a little earlier, and it's Jack Wilshere who's been called forward, as Ian Dennis suggested. You might see Sturridge as well, but certainly Jack Wilshere is being prepared. This will be the first change for either side in the game. Yes, off comes the bib. It will be Wilshere. Here's Rooney, who's just been denied by Akinfeev. Ali on the edge of the area. Ali was blocked there, blocked by Shenikov. It's a free kick in the D. And Shenikov receives a yellow card. He's had a torrid night, the left back.
Yeah, he's only a young lad and he's found it difficult. He's got Walker coming down that side of the line, running inside of him. And this time he's given a free kick away, and you've got to say what a position this is. Inside the D, slightly to the right.
Shenikov is really the second choice left back, but he plays for Slutsky's club, CSKA Moscow, and he's been given the edge ahead of Kombarov, who's the other left back who's on the bench. He committed the foul. It's a free kick in the D, so it's in the D. It's just a couple of strides outside of the penalty area. Very central.
I think he's going to reverse it. Harry Kane, I think, fancies this. I think he'll be looking where the goalkeeper is standing now to Harry Kane's left. I think to get it up and over the wall, it's going to be very difficult. I think Dyer's actually saying he wants it.
Well, Dyer's over it. Rooney's talking to him with his hand in front of his face. And Dyer has taken command of this situation. Kane is there as well. In fact, Kane runs over it. Here comes Eric Dyer, and he scored! Well, he had the confidence there, Eric Dyer, to say this free kick's mine. And he planted it over the wall into the top corner. And England break through in Marseille. It's Russia 0, England 1.
What a free kick. He had to go that way. He was never going to get it over the wall. It was too close. He's reversed it. The goalkeeper maybe think it's come my side, but again, like most keepers, they anticipate that ball coming over the wall, and it's nestled in the top corner. Quality free kick, a lot of pace on it.
And thousands of England supporters celebrating in the Stade Velodrome, and it was brilliantly hit, and it was at the end. I mean, Ian Dennis down there behind the goal, you're only yards away from it.
Sadly, at the moment, I'm having to dodge bottles that are being bizarrely thrown by the England supporters down here towards the photographers, but Eric Dyer slid away and then was mobbed down by the corner flag down here to our right, and then he seemed to be pointing to somebody, John, at the bench, but he placed the ball down. It was a well-worked routine, full of intent, and Roy Hodgson absolutely delighted. They're still high-fiving each other, and now Jack Wilshere is going to be coming on for England.
Ian was just really right at the thick of the action down there, Ian Dennis, where it happened. And the England supporters are dancing in the stands. Here's Rooney inside his own penalty area. Rooney turns and clears it away. But Eric Dyer of Tottenham, who came through in a footballing sense in Portugal, remember, at the time of Euro 2004 when his family moved there. Well, Eric Dyer, who scored that winner in the friendly in Berlin, thought he'd never forget that goal, but scoring England's first goal here at Euro 2016.
When you see the replay of it, the goalkeeper takes a slight step to the left, and he can't get back because of the pace of it. It hasn't gone inside the post. It's actually gone a good 3-4 yards inside the post. But the pace of it, he just couldn't get himself back across the goal.
Going to bring in Jermaine Genius in a moment, but Dele Alli has gone a long way now. He's taken the ball right to the edge of the penalty area, plays it square to Sterling. Sterling now to Rooney. The Russians are stretched here, but Rooney couldn't find the pass through. It was cut out by Berezutsky. And Kokorin is breaking away down the right-hand side, but Eric Dyer, the new hero, easily dispossesses Kokorin. Jack Wilshere's waiting to come on, and Slutsky's going to make a change as well. He's going to bring on Shirokov, Roman Shirokov, very experienced midfielder, another one of his CSKA Moscow players. But not yet, because England are in possession, and they've got it inside their own half. So let's bring in Jermaine Genius for the first time since England scored.
Well, there's no end to that lad's talent. He's been brilliant all season. He's been brilliant tonight. And I mean, who knew that he's got that in the locker as well? To whip that one into the top bin from that position was absolutely phenomenal.
Sterling's done well to get to this ball, gives it back to Kane. Kane on his left foot, shoots, but it's blocked by Berezutsky. It opened up for him there, and suddenly the Russian defence looks as though it is tiring. And here are the first of the changes. And it's going to be Golovin, young Golovin, the 20-year-old, who is replaced by Roman Shirokov, who comes on to win his 54th cap, the number 15. And who will it be who makes way for England? Well, it's going to be Rooney. So Wayne Rooney's the man who's replaced by Jack Wilshere. Raised eyebrows?
Well, he's felt the pace, but I just thought he'd need more experience. Uses the ball very well. But obviously, Roy's looked at it and thought, Wilshere, fresh legs.
Played well though, Rooney.
Yeah, used the ball well.
And he receives a handshake from Roy Hodgson as he walks past him. He's given a water bottle very quickly there, I notice. So Rooney off, and the captain's armband goes to Gary Cahill. England are winning 1-0 against Russia in their first match here at Euro 2016. Live from Marseille. You're listening to it on BBC 5 Live. Chris Waddle with us, Jermaine Genius. 3 more commentaries to come tomorrow, including Northern Ireland's first match against Poland. That's live from Nice at 5 o'clock UK time. But here's Sterling now bringing the ball forward. Sterling turns, plays it in field to Jack Wilshere, who gets his first touch. Wilshere, second touch, third touch. The ball being controlled tightly by him, but then he loses possession, and it's cleared away downfield by the newly arrived Shirokov. Eric Dyer with a touch. Already we're into the last 15 minutes of this game. Eric Dyer scoring the goal from the free kick in the 74th minute. Well, you'd have to say unlikely scorer of England's first goal at this championship. Russia crossing the halfway line, but lose possession. And England now, Lallana. Here is Jack Wilshere in the centre circle. Jack Wilshere being allowed to carry it forward, but opted against giving it to Sterling, and it goes back to Eric Dyer. And then Rose and Dyer, and now Sterling. We're going to see a second Russian change very shortly, and Denis Glushakov is going to come on. Defensive midfielder he is, just running his fingers through his hair. But England, Wilshere playing it through to Lallana. Lallana shooting from distance. It's wide and high of the near post and behind.
I think there's a lot of Russian players now thinking it's not going to be our night. They've battled hard, they've had a good second half, well, improvement, but England now in control of the game again.
And it's Neustädter who has been replaced by Glushakov. So the two holding midfielders, the inexperienced holding midfielders, they've only got 10 caps between them. Neustädter and Golovin have been replaced. England winning 1-0 here on 5 Live. And really, only minutes away now, just over 10 minutes away from starting with a victory for the first time at the European Championship finals. Dyer heading the ball away on the edge of the box. Puglic address system is just announcing the substitutions. And it's being drowned out by the national anthem. Smolnikov back into his own half to Berezutsky, who gives it to Ignashevich. Ignashevich then tries to pick out a pass to the left-hand side, but it comes back infield and back towards the central defenders again. England with all of their white shirts behind the ball here. And then Berezutsky swings it out towards the left-hand side. Shenikov controls it. Shenikov's cross headed down by Smalling, not away, but then it's whacked away, volleyed away by Walker up to his Tottenham teammate Harry Kane, who's bundled over by Berezutsky, and it's a free kick. And England will, I think, take a breather here.
Well, they don't want to drop off, they want to try and keep the ball, England, and but move it quickly. Don't start getting sloppy and lazy, and just keep that ball moving. They're in control of the game at the minute.
It's a great moment, wasn't it, when Eric Dyer scored that goal? And you always feel that, don't you, when a team deserves a goal in a match.
Oh, England definitely deserve it.
Sterling and Rose. It's been England's best performance since Berlin, when Dyer scored that winner against the World Cup holders. Germany start out tomorrow night against Ukraine, and we'll have commentary live from Lille with Jens Lehmann, part of our commentary team. I hope he's been told about the BBC ways of being right down the middle, Jens Lehmann. I'm sure he has. Here's Wilshere, who chests the ball down near the centre circle and plays it up towards Sterling on the halfway line. Sterling turns and looks for the run in field of Wilshere, who takes it in his path. Wilshere now taking it on, clipping the ball, looking for Kane on the edge of the area, headed away. Comes out to Lallana, who, while not as impressive as he was in the first half, has done well, Adam Lallana, on the right-hand side. The Liverpool man had a chance to score in the first half. Here he does well as well, turning away and then playing it back behind him to Dele Alli. Ali square to Wilshere. Wilshere now trying to drive on, gives it to Kane, who's in an offside position. We could clearly see it. England had a little training, passing session and popped the ball in the net, but it's a free kick.
Yeah, good passing, good movement, but I've got to say again, Russia do that very well, don't they? Any ball that goes back to square, they just hold the line, they step up, either centre forward or whoever it is offside, and caught a lot of England players tonight offside.
Russia 0, England 1, and we're in the 83rd minute of the match. Smalling heading away, a little bit of indecision between Dyer and Smalling together, but Smalling went for it and headed it away on the day that the England rugby union players won so well in Australia this morning. Ireland won in South Africa in the afternoon, and here is Harry Kane, who plays it back to Wilshere. Wilshere now back to Kane. Kane takes it on through the middle again. He was impeded there by Glushakov. It's a free kick. Kane went sprawling down, and it's a free kick. It's not as close as the one that Dyer had and scored from in the D, but this is more the range for Harry Kane, slightly left of centre.
Yeah, Harry Kane will fancy this. He'll like to strike it, make a dip, make a move. It's a good position because he can go either side. He can get it up over the wall.
Well, Eric Dyer has just come across and had a word with his Tottenham teammate, Harry Kane, as if to say, now, Harry, what you need to do here is that it won't be Dyer taking this one. Dyer takes up a position on the edge of the wall. I suspect he was actually saying, I'm going to now take up the position that he's in, which is right on the end of the wall. The Russians check with Akinfeev behind them. It's a free kick for England. It's Harry Kane who drives it high, but it flies away over the top of the crossbar by probably 6 yards or more.
No, it's been a hard game for Harry Kane. We saw in the tournament already some of the players like Griezmann and players who've been built up to set the tournament alight and score goals. It's been very difficult for them.
That's Chris Waddle. This is 5 Live. We're live in Marseille, where Chris used to play his football when the stadium looked rather different to how it does now, with its fantastic undulating roof and its illuminations, as Corcoran is fouled by Rose. And we'll have the final Russian change now, which sees Pavel Mamayev of Krasnodar come on to take up a position on the left-hand side, because he's replaced his clubmate Smolov. Free kick taken short by Russia. It's clipped into the penalty area, headed away, and England might be off on the counter-attack if Sterling can catch this. He can. Sterling's off down the left-hand side. Sterling's away. The Russian defender's trying to get back in place. Sterling has a look. Sterling, kicked it. And the defender has tumbled down. Sterling just balked him there. And what was a really promising opening has come to absolutely nothing.
Well, I think that's been Raheem Sterling tonight, I've got to say. He started quite bright on that left-hand side first half, did some nice things. But as the game's gone on, he's given the ball away, he's made bad decisions, and it just looks like he's run out of steam as well.
It's that old Sterling failing, isn't it? The final ball.
Yep.
England's next change, James Milner, is coming on. That'll be England's second substitution. So Milner, with all of his 60 caps, about to become 61. Just to shore things up, you would think. 1-0 England lead. England are now less than 5 minutes away from an opening victory. Glushakov back to Ignashevich. Now to the left-hand side. Throughout the course of the 85-86 minutes, Russia have created relatively little. But here they are now. England sitting back, allowing them to have possession. Oh, that's an awful pass. Vivian is overhit, way beyond anyone in a red shirt, and through for a goal kick. It's Mamayev, the substitute, has just come on, who passed it. And so it will be Raheem Sterling. So that breakaway, that counter-attack was his last contribution. So Milner on for Sterling first.
Yeah, Milner obviously will do a job. We play James Milner most positions, as I say. Sterling, like the England team, were excellent first half, and Sterling was heavily involved in a lot of good things, but as the game's gone on, he looks tired, and bad decisions, which obviously they've changed it now.
Straight swap, Milner to play on the left. Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, straight swap.
Yeah, so one of the many positions that the sometime Liverpool captain can play, James Milner. Free kick, goal kick rather, for England. Russia 0, England 1 is the score. And Smolnikov, the right back, just playing it back to the central defenders. And again, they exchange passes. Ignashevich. But now England are dropping deep. The England fans are trying to see them through here. Smolnikov. Again, it's the patient build up by the Russians. Mamayev. To Berezutsky. And Berezutsky will drive a high pass. Well, that's ambitious from the central defender. And it sails away and bounces away through for a goal kick. And England will happily accept that for the remaining 3 minutes or whatever it is.
Take your time, no rush. The referee's having a word with Joe Hart already, but
a couple of flashing flares have been ignited by the Russian support. Now, a flare has actually been set off high into the stand, and it's gone out before it actually landed up there in the top tier. That was actually a worrying moment for a moment, but I think that I don't see it causing any problem up there. It sort of fizzled out, I think, before it reached the stand. But in the Russian section, there are now 2 flashing flares, smoke bombs as well, and there's a huge plume of smoke rising towards the roof of the stadium. Russia 0, England 1. And we're seeing a message being put up on the big screen in the corner which says the Russian fans are kindly asked to remain in their seats after the match. Clearly we hope that there will be no further unpleasant scenes in the middle of Marseille tonight near the old port where, well, the water cannons were in operation this afternoon and tear gas. But the mood inside the ground has really, you couldn't question it really until the incident there with the flares. Ball's out of play on the far side. Throw in to Russia. But they're making little impression on England. Just the 1 goal for England tonight. The Eric Dyer free kick in the 74th minute, which he hit with power and direction into the top corner of the Russian net. England just working it away. It is Dyer who gets the touch. Dele Alli isn't going to do anything rash, just plays it up towards Kane, gets a first-time touch, then Wilshere. Out to the left-hand side, Milner will get his first taste of the action at Euro 2016. Milner plays it down the line to Wilshere, who made a diagonal run. Wilshere is taking it towards the corner flag. We're in the 90th minute now. Groans because Milner's lost possession. And Kokori runs it back to central defence. High ball for Dzyuba, who was beaten to it by Cahill. Might have fouled Dzyuba. The Italian referee doesn't give the free kick. Actually, the one error I think that Rizzoli, the Italian referee, has made was not booking Eric Dyer for the challenge that he took. There's an enormous firecracker going off somewhere inside the stadium as Berezutsky heads the ball back to Akinfeev.
yeah, he should have booked Dyer, you're right. He didn't bring the play back, he played advantage, didn't he? And he forgot all about it. But
we're into added time, 3 minutes of added time. Jordan Henderson's waiting to come on. This is purely a substitution to see through a few more of the final seconds of the match. A win for England in their opening match at Euro 2016 is tantalisingly close for them. Here's Kokorin though on the right, lifts the ball into the middle, aiming for the edge of the penalty area, but Chris Smalling made a very good challenge to head it behind.
He did, England dropped off, no pressure on the ball, but time to put the cross in, and Smalling did very well. A dangerous ball into the box.
It's a corner. England have got to defend the set piece. Remember all of the questions about England's defending. Well, here they've got to stand strong, but the referee, Nicola Rizzoli, is not going to have this. It was going to be taken by Kokorin, but he spotted some pushing in there. Spoken to 1 or 2 of the players, Cahill certainly. Here we are then. Kokorin takes the corner to the near post. Away they shout, and it is headed away for England. But it's taken up by Russia once again. Central position with Shenikov, the left back, takes it on. Shenikov clips it over into the middle. Berezutsky is there with a header. It's in! It's in! Well, England are appealing. England are appealing for a foul, but Berezutsky has scored, and the goal will stand, and Russia have equalised in added time. Well, that's cruel on England. The win's been snatched away from them by the Russians. Russian captain, and it is Russia 1, England 1.
Oh, you've got to say, they never cleared the lines, they never got out and pressed the ball. The left back, the young left back, just run down the left-hand side. There was no pressure, nobody came out. I've got to say, he hung so well at the far post, the captain, and he heads it back across the goal. It's his goal, it's over the line. He got up against Rose at the far post. He got up nice and early, punched it back across Joe Hart. He can't do anything about it. I'm not saying he deserved it, it's very cruel on England.
Yeah, the issue was Glushakov followed in
was over the line.
and took the ball and made contact with the ball. England was saying that he got the touch and he was offside, but he wasn't. The ball was already in the net. Well, it is cruel on England, but they weren't able to ram home their advantage. And now Joe Hart might be caught in possession. Oh, this could be big trouble, but Hart has recovered to slide it out of play for a throw.
What's going on?
Well, England suddenly are nervous. It's 1-1 now in the closing stages, and Russia are pressing for a winner, believe it or not. But England are able to scrape it away on the edge of the area, and Jack Wilshere is fouled. And Wilshere's trying to get the ball back. Wilshere needs to be careful here, shoving away Kokorin. It's okay, it's calmed down.
Well, England's just got to concentrate. I don't know how long extra they put on, Joe.
3 minutes.
3 minutes, well, there's still time to get one more chance, but that's give Russia a
No,
little bit.
that's it. That's it.
Time. That is time. That is
The
time.
whistle is gone. The game's over. It's a 1-1 draw.